What's up, everybody? This is Do That But Better. I'm Eric, and next to me is my brother Zach.
Boom.
What's going on, Zach?
Not too much. We've got a nice rainy day. It's a little bit cool. It definitely feels like spring, except for uh, the cold.
hmm
It's like straight up pouring down rain.
Oh, we had some of that the other night.
Hmm.
So I like your new setting.
Thank
Got like
you.
a fancier backdrop.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going for intelligent. We got old school record player and some beautiful candles.
Yeah, very, very fancy. A plant.
A plant. Yep, it's slightly alive.
It's I was gonna say it's mostly brown, but I feel like there's
Mostly,
a hint of green in there
it,
somewhere.
it's a brown it's a brown plant. So
uh, so I was gonna tell you about my morning this morning.
okay.
I could not sleep. I was awake, I think, before 4. So I laid around for a while. Um, then I got up, grabbed a book, sat and read for a while. And then I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, you know what? I need to get out. I should go knock out a run and a workout because the girls have doctor's appointments this afternoon. It's going to totally mess up our schedule. It's like very different today.
Mhm.
Um, and I found myself wanting to stay on the couch. And
Yeah.
like I could sit here and I could read. I could just look at my phone for a few hours before anyone else wakes up. And I had to like wrestle myself out the door. And then once I got going, I had an awesome run through all the neighborhoods around here, which
Mm.
similar to like you're saying, we had all the rain yesterday, so today it's like cloudy. It was like 40, which is perfect for running. So then I was like wide awake, got some other work done. Um, Ran over to church, got some more work done over there, came back. Now I've already been with the kids. So it started out kind of rough,
Hmm.
very early. Um, but now it's turned out where like I've been very productive. Um, and the rest of my day is going to be a breeze because of that,
Yeah.
which brings me to the topic of today,
Mm.
which is delayed gratification
Yeah.
of, right? And I feel like it gets kind of a bad rap, and maybe not even explicitly like people talking about it negatively, but I think the emotion, like the response that you feel when someone says delayed gratification, is kind of a sad one that you don't want.
Yeah. I want to be grateful now.
Yep. Yeah, gratify me at all times, please.
Yeah. I never thought of that with well even just having a bad connotation towards it because I do feel
Mhm.
like especially right now, there's lots of people talking about the idea of this, and this is how results happen. Yeah, and
Yep.
most of the times, the problem that we have getting results in anything is that we're trying to get everything done at once or immediately, and then you go, I
Yeah.
can't do it.
Yep. Yeah. That's even like something I mentioned a couple weeks ago, I think, where a friend said they wanted to be able to do push ups to the song Flowers by Moby, the Bring
Hmm.
Sally Up, Bring Sally Down. So you do your push ups, go up when they say up, go down and hold at the bottom when they say down. And it's brutal.
Hmm.
And he was saying that, like, yeah, it's just too painful. He can't do it. I'm like, well, you're trying to do the whole song. It's a what, like 3 almost 4 minute song where you're just holding a plank and doing push-ups the whole time. You're trying to do all of that right now.
Right.
Where like if you start investing and start training for it, you could do that in a couple months and get through the whole song and you won't be debilitated with soreness at the end of it.
Yeah.
But
Can
yeah, the idea of like wanting to do this right now. And man, I can relate to that. With CrossFit, I mean, there are so many fun
oh
tricks. Are you losing something?
can you hear me?
Yes.
Or can well, I mean, can you hear my phone ringing?
Oh, no, I can't do that.
Oh, it's ringing in my ears. It is really
Oh.
loud.
Uh, but with CrossFit, there's so many fun tricks like handstand walks and snatches and whatever, muscle ups that personally, my uh, my tendency is to look at that and be like, I want to learn that trick. And
Yeah,
so I want to do that today. How do I do that right now? Versus like maybe I need to develop some skills first or some specific strength in those areas and then work toward that thing. And yeah, I think that goes for most people is that feeling of I see that thing, I want it now. How do I get it so like as fast as possible?
right. Yeah, and you know what? We have, especially with the internet and information and science and whatever the heck you want to throw at it, we've gotten so efficient at doing things. We've got the information. We've got
Hmm.
lots of information to make things really simple, right? And but simple isn't always easy, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be fast.
Hmm.
And so you go, all right, here's the simplest way to do this. And it's like, guess what? It's still going to take a lot of work.
Yeah.
You can watch a video on how to throw a baseball, and it's like, all right, it's a 5 minute video, but it doesn't mean that you're done in 5 minutes. It's like
Right.
these are the steps, and now go work on them. And guess what? 10,000 hours to
Right.
master something, and it's like, oh crap, I thought it was only 5 minutes. And it's really it's demoralizing when we realize that we have to put in that work.
Yeah. Yeah, I that's what I was thinking is like progressions toward, say, a muscle up. It's like, okay, start with this, and then the next one is this. And yeah, it's a 5 minute video showing all the progressions. And I'm like, okay, 5 minutes, I'll do that one, do this one, I should have it.
Right.
Like, no, no, no. You work on progression one for a week or 2 weeks, then go to the next one. I think the timelines are skewed. And even you said like um, that it might not be fast, but like what's your definition of fast?
Right.
Like learning a muscle up over 2 years or learning a muscle up over 2 months? Like
Right.
if you just try to do a muscle up every day, it's going to take you forever. If
you
you do the
you
progressions for a month
you
or
might
two,
not you might not ever get it
right?
because you
Like
didn't work on the right things.
yep, yeah, like doing those progressions and being okay with the slow progress is probably the fastest way to
Hmm.
get to whatever it is you're trying to get to. You think that there's a fast like this week or today, really the fastest is as fast as it can be done.
Yeah.
And if you try to go faster, you're going to demoralize yourself.
Right. There, Zach Evanish always said that the long way is the shortcut, and
Yep.
I love that. And yeah, if you're trying to save money, right? If you're going to try and save $10,000, right? You don't do it by saving $10,000, like putting it in your
Mm,
bank, right? You don't have that capacity, possibly. And so
yep.
it's like, all right, if I like, when do I need it by? How much will that look like? And this usually it makes it look actually obtainable. And I think that one of the problems with the instant gratification is that we go, I can't do this, right? So yeah, if you want to get a muscle up, if you want to save X amount of money, you have to go, all right, this is what I want. When do I actually need it by? What would that look like? And all of a sudden, when you're like, hey, putting $50 away or $10 away a month or a week or a day, whatever it is,
Yep.
it's so much more obtainable. And the great thing is that you are consistently getting something every time that you do it. You're getting that little dopamine hit that, hey,
Mm,
I got to win.
yeah. Yeah. And I think like breaking it down that way is a huge help. Like using a time frame of like
Hmm.
how long could I do this in? because I mean it's in the name, Instagram. Right? Everyone's looking for that instant thing. And when you see someone else who has what you have, it's like, well, they have it right now. Can I have that right now? No. Aw, my life sucks.
Right.
When, like, how long did it take them to get that? Or do they even actually have that? Is the other question on, on social media.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, like, you don't always get the context of the timeline and how much work and effort and planning went into getting to that point.
Well, and when you think about like delayed gratification, lots of times we have this idea that we're depriving ourselves of
Mm-hmm.
something, but we're not, right? So we're often, if we seek out that instant gratification, um, as opposed to that long-term goal, we're we're actually depriving ourselves of what we really want. And it's
Yeah.
like, we're taking this thing that, it's like the consolation prize. It's like, well, I'm not going to put in the work for this thing, and would I be more satisfied if I got that? And actually, if so, there was the marshmallow test, and
Mm-hmm.
where they took some kids and they put a marshmallow in front of them, and I'm summarizing this, but they said, if you can wait, all right, we'll give you two marshmallows, but if you want, you can have this marshmallow, right? And then you don't get the second marshmallow. And they found that the kids who waited for the second marshmallow, and I think they did this with cookies, they did just other things,
Yeah.
they've done multiple studies with this, they found that every kid, and over a long-term study, had better success in all areas of life. It was like relationships and schooling and money and all these things, because they were able to work on this long-term goal, as opposed to taking this thing right now, which it might feel good at the time, but it doesn't necessarily push you to what you actually wanted. And you go, oh, this was great. I got this cookie. And sometimes that might be great. But uh, if we can start setting ourselves up for these long-term ambitions, now will I get more gratification?
Mm-hmm.
And like I was talking about with like depriving yourself. So you, how many people have you talked to that are like, all I want is, I want to lose 20 pounds so I feel confident. I want to be able to go hiking with my family, right? And it's like, all right, here's the things that we need to do. And then it's like, what, it's eat well, like move well, exercise often, right? And then you go, well, I had to have these donuts at
Mm-hmm.
work because they bring them in every day, and
Right.
it's like all these things, and it's like, man, when you look at that goal that I really had, I'm actually depriving myself of the gratification of what I really want for this thing, that I even said that I had to, right?
Yeah.
I had to do this. I had to hit snooze because I needed more sleep or whatever it is.
Yeah. Man, that gave me a picture in my head of like someone on the couch watching TV, eating chips,
Mm-hmm.
and like their future self looking on and just like very really sad. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're like they're the person on the couch is depriving their future self of this awesome stuff, and like now future you doesn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know. I feel like I want to draw that cartoon if I could draw. But that was making me think of a book that I read. It was a long time ago now, but it was about generational poverty,
Mm-hmm.
and that very common it that it is sort of a mindset, and that there is the assumption that like if you get some money
Mm-hmm.
that like you aren't getting out of your circumstances, so you might as well you know you distribute it to all of your family, all your neighbors, and everyone just like has a party and then it's gone. And
Hmm.
it's like that same thing of that delayed gratification of, if you don't have a picture of the future
Hmm.
of like anything, then it's not worth it.
Right.
Like if the clearer the picture and more detailed the picture of your destination of like what you're working toward, the easier it's going to be to take those steps. Because if it's like, I'd like to lose some weight, well, I mean, like you could go to the bathroom right now and check it off the list. Like, you know, who cares? But if it's like a very clear picture of, I want to take my family to this place, to this beach, and I want to take my shirt off, and this is what I want to look like in my pictures, and this is how I want to feel, and these are the things I'm going to do. I'm going to go surfing and go on this hike. Like, now you have a very clear picture, and it's a lot easier to wake up and go do your workout, or to, bring your own lunch and eat that instead of going out with coworkers, than it would be when you're just kind of vaguely trying to lose weight for whatever reason.
Hmm.
It's like
Now,
having that very clear picture is going to keep you moving.
now, say that you have this clear picture. What do you feel are some of the biggest obstacles in staying on your path for the things that you want? Because yeah, lots of times people go, all right, yeah, I'm gonna work out 5 times a week, and by summer I'm gonna have a six pack, and it's like, all right, you did 5 days, week one, and then all of a sudden it's like never again.
Hmm. I think one of them is keeping the focus on like that future goal, because it's super easy. Even if, let's say, you pull out a journal and you write down a super clear description of what you're working toward, and then you close your journal and never look at it again, then when your alarm goes off the next morning, you're right back in your old routine,
Hmm.
right? Like, most of your life is automatic. And so if it's not right in front of you saying like, "Hey, stupid, this is what you want," then you're just going to be on autopilot. So keeping that picture as prominent as possible.
Hmm.
So stick it up on your bathroom mirror so you read it while you're brushing your teeth in the morning, and at night. Put it. You can take a screenshot, make it the background of your phone. So every time you pick up your phone, you see that goal that you're working toward. Um, Put alarms and reminders on your phone that like, this is when I want to do these things, so that you can't forget. Because
Hmm.
I think that is the biggest thing, is you forget what you were actually working toward. And so then you just go back on autopilot and go back to the old routine.
Yeah. You know what? I also feel like, so you had said that having that real why, like really knowing why, what you're going to do, and having things daily, and even if it's not an active thing. So say that you want to exercise 3 times a week, putting that on the calendar, having a calendar, and actually checking off the days and going, I did it this day. You can even put on the days that you're not working out that I didn't work out.
Yep.
Because and actually this feeds the instant gratification that you are working towards your goal. And now even on the days that you are taking a rest day, you're consciously taking a rest day. It's not just I'm not doing anything. I skipped this. It's like, no, I'm taking a rest day. And so tomorrow, and now daily, we're moving towards that. And this is one of the problems with when we set goals and you go, hey, I want to lose 50 pounds, or I want to put 20 pounds on my back squat. It doesn't happen right away. So you go, what are the things I need to do? And am I doing the things that I need to do? And the cool thing about this is you get to actively see, this is what I did. Is this working? Yes, no.
Hmm.
And if you're keeping it in the forefront of your mind, you can stick to it a little bit easier. You need to know that I screwed up.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
But
those daily reminders and actions are huge. I know
Yeah.
when I first started doing CrossFit, that is how I thought about nutrition.
Hmm.
Well, I was like, if it was a day that I worked out, I'm like,
Hmm.
well, I need to eat well to recover. And if it was a rest day, I was like, well, I need to eat well so that I feel good for my workout tomorrow.
Right.
And so like it was all like every day, whether you're working out or not, every meal was working toward that goal. And the same thing, yeah, whatever your goals are, you can tie the tie all of your decisions into that goal that you're working on.
Right. And you know what? I think that that really helps to um, eliminate the idea that it all comes down to self-control,
Hmm.
right? Because often we don't have what we're actually doing, right? And this is huge. People go, all right, Monday through Friday, I'm killing it, right? I have an actual goal. You like maybe you're planning your meals. You're really busy, and so you actively have to set things up. You have to rearrange appointments and take the kids to school and all these things, and it's active participation. And then on those weekends, you're like, and all of a sudden, it seems like I have no self control, but really, it's I didn't have a plan.
Yeah.
And uh, planning all those things. And now they've found that people who are over controlled have trouble with finding joy, right? So if you only have schedules, but you can actually even schedule in playtime. You know, have hey, I have scheduled in that I'm going to have some treats, or I'm going to not exercise. And that's like scheduling your rest days,
Hmm.
and and maybe even saying, hey, what am I going to do on my rest days? Which can help, but also the people who are less controlled, like so people who were always told what to do. So like actually, like military or something like that, where you didn't have
Like
much choice.
athletes.
Yeah, athletes, and they have trouble like working towards long-term goals, like especially on their own, because it's just come in, do your thing, and
Man, that's me.
yeah,
Like
tell me about
I want to have someone who's like, here are the steps that you need to take.
it. Hmm.
Do these things. So I have to like look at myself third person and like be the coach and be the athlete.
Mm.
Of like, okay, here are the things you need to do. Okay, thanks, coach. Go do them.
Yeah.
I much prefer having someone telling me what to do.
You know what is really interesting is I would say I think that a lot of people are like that, and often we go, I just want to do what I want. And actually even in the COVID world, all of a sudden you didn't have somebody by you. So some people, they hate being at work and all this stuff, and like we got to do this and that, and they go home and they're like, all right, you get to work from home, and they're like, ah.
Yep.
Right. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I have that trouble too. Like I'm a pretty good little soldier, and if it's like, hey, here's the tasks that need to get done. And I would almost I almost wonder if it's like, do I like to please that person? Like show somebody that I can do this thing,
Yeah.
because I am a show off. And I feel like that is one of the things that I do really well, is when there's that thing at stake, it's like,
Hmm.
look what I just did, you know? And I think that more people are like that um than we like to admit.
Hmm. Yeah, there's definitely glorification of like the entrepreneur right now,
Hmm.
and that's not an easy thing. Not everyone is cut out for that.
Yeah. What actually, Angelo Cisco. So he was like one of my first mentors, and I was working with him when I was getting ready to uh, leave the firehouse. And he said one of the biggest things, if you are going out and now you're like entrepreneur, you are in charge. there's when there is no structure, there's chaos. And so you go, all right, I want to be able to do what I want. And the cool thing about owning your own business is that you can do what you want. But the bad thing about that is that everything falls on you. So if you're not getting things done, like you're the only one to tell yourself that
Hmm.
you're not getting things done. And really that goes into anything, right?
Yep.
People are so darn good at showing up to work at the time that their bosses tell them, right? And so dang bad at not hitting snooze for yourself, right? And you go, hey, this is what I really need. And you go, all right, this is what the boss needs. And you go, got it. I will never be late.
Yeah.
And you tell yourself that for long-term health, I need to wake up at this time. I need to eat this food. I need to do these things. And you go, snooze, can't do it. And it's like, man, it only had to do with uh like, did I respect myself as much as I did my boss,
Yeah.
which is a crazy thought. And we
Yeah.
do it all the time,
That's
myself included.
I'm reading right now Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life.
Hmm.
And one of them, I think rule 3 maybe, is treat yourself like, I forget how exactly he says it. It's like treat yourself like someone who needs help. Treat yourself like someone who needs your help.
Hmm.
Because that exact thing, that we are happy to help other people. We can see what they need and we want to help them be better. And then when it comes to ourselves, we we don't.
Right.
Whether it's like, if you don't think you deserve it, or if you're blind to your own um, shortcomings, but we don't treat ourselves with the same amount of respect as we treat other people. And so shifting that and being like, you are worthy of this goal and you are capable of it. Here are the things to do. And you're helping yourself out by saying, no, do not hit that snooze.
Yeah.
One of the best things you can do, I'll say, is you can read Jocko Willink's Discipline Equals Freedom,
Hmm.
the field manual, which is only like 100 pages. You could listen to the ebook, which is only like an hour and 10 minutes, maybe, which I've listened to that like the whole thing through in a workout.
Oh wow.
Or the best way, I think, is go on Spotify, look up Akira the Don. I think it's Akaira, Akira the Don, and he put the whole thing to music,
Really?
and it is sweet.
Really?
Yes, it will get you pumped up. There's some pretty sweet beat drops. If you get that going and you've got like Jocko in his voice reading it,
Is he reading it? That is
yeah.
awesome.
Oh man, it'll get you
Did,
going.
so I actually had to stop listening to him just because so I felt like he's in a dark room going, okay, Echo Charlie. Like, and I'm like, dude, am I talking to like Lego Batman? You know? And but there was and it is hilarious. One of the my favorite episodes was when he was reading the book Wooden Legs. And I thought about it later. I was like, I was just listening to Jocko Willnick read a book to me. Like what? Like this is like the weirdest thing ever. But I can't imagine if he even had a soundtrack to
Oh
uh,
man,
to the Willnick.
yeah, it is great.
That's awesome. Well, all right. So let's bring this in. So, um, what are some tips to finding success with delayed gratification?
Well, so we mentioned having that super clear end goal
Mm,
and then having those daily steps and like daily reminders to keep you moving. I feel like those are huge.
yeah. Now, one thing that that came out of the marshmallow test was they found that people who did things to basically enjoy the process, really helped. And so instead of thinking of the marshmallows as marshmallows and their savory sweetness and their gooey and all this stuff, they thought of them as fluffy clouds, or they sang a song, or like things like that, and
Hmm.
really just enjoying that process. It's like, hey, I'm doing this thing, and it might be hard. And one of the things that we talk about at the gym all the time is we do hard things, and we should enjoy that. We should enjoy that we get to do these hard things,
Hmm.
and we're getting this reward for it. And the I almost think that realizing that struggle and is part of the reward. It's like, hey, I'm doing this thing for myself that I wanted to do, and this
Hmm.
is the thing that you actually wanted to do. You're not taking the consolation prize. So
Yeah.
finding that thing that makes it enjoyable will help uh, relieve some of the stress of I don't get this.
Yeah.
I'm doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. They say, what, the person who loves to walk will always walk farther than the person who loves the destination.
Yeah. Oh man,
And so,
that reminds me of like Born to Run. You know,
yep.
they've if you've never read Born to Run, it's a great book, but they found that this tribe who was just amazing at running, they always smiled. They loved it. They ran for fun, and they're
Hmm.
running 100 miles in
Yep.
in leather straps.
Yeah. Yeah. Like shoes from tires from the dump.
Yeah, but yeah,
But yeah, like finding those things, I mean, the things that you enjoy doing that move you toward those goals, and even the way you think about the goals. Like thinking of it when I picture a destination, I'm picturing, I don't know why I picture it this way, but like on a dirt road to like an old school city, like walled in city. And if you get to the city, then you stop. But if you think of those goals as like signposts
hmm,
along the way, then it's not something that you stop and sit there. It's like, cool, I got to this point. Now it's time to go to the next point.
I like
So like
that.
the way that you picture those goals can change the way you think about, yeah, that journey, like the steps you're taking.
Yeah, and man, I'll tell you what. I can't think of a goal that you have that is an actual finish,
Hmm.
right? You're right. It's a sign, and it's like, all right, and now I'm working on this. Actually, Natalie was telling me that her advisor when she was doing her graduate school said that you should always have three projects: one that you're finishing, one that you're like actively working on, and one that you are just starting. And this goes for everything, whether it's fitness, whether it's relationships, whether it's whatever. It's like, all right, here's the thing that we're actively working on. What are we working on next? And hey, this is doing pretty darn good. But you
Hmm.
know, how many goals have you gotten to that once you got there, you like just stopped, right? And it's like that, getting those two marshmallows, it's only good for, a minute and
Hmm.
a half. And then it's like, now what? It's like, that's what I
Yeah.
was waiting for. And so you go, all right, I got it. And here's my next thing that I'm working towards. So you're always staying uh, slightly gratified, right? It's like, all right, I got this win, and hey, let's go get the next thing,
Hmm.
and be happy every step of the way.
That reminded me of Alfie. I remember I remember you talking about, he did like a diet bet with someone, right?
Okay.
And he lost all the weight super easily because he had like boxed and whatever, so he knew how to cut weight.
Yeah.
And then it like, the bet's done, I win, and then right back to
And how
the
many
old
how many
stuff because
people
like,
do that?
check, did it, yeah, for like a wedding, or a class reunion or whatever it is. I want to look really good at this one moment, and then I don't care the rest of the time.
But
Like,
we do.
yeah, and then you're gonna complain every year after that you, man, I felt so great at that one thing. I looked so good because your goal was this one endpoint and not enjoying that journey of getting there and being there.
Right. I'll tell you what, I that is somewhere where I have finally gotten, and I remember, so in eighth grade, I remember buying, it was called like the Abdur or something like that. And I've always been self-conscious about like my weight and things like that. And this thing, it was like, it almost looked like a pogo stick, and you just like, you lean into it. It had rubber bands, and I bought it with my own money, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna have a six pack by the end of summer. And I made a bet with Greg Lyon, right? And number one, I didn't. So number one, I didn't do it consistently. Number two, I didn't get it. But from there on, like that was the first time that I ever remember like thinking about that, you know? And then maybe in my 30s, I I had like a six pack, right? I was like my leanest ever. And the things that I had to do to get there, like, so actually I love every step of the process because it was years and years of all kinds of crap, getting way overweight, bringing it back down, and then even at like some of my lowest weights, it was like I still wasn't as lean as I really wanted. That picture that you had, and I finally got it, and it was like, man, it's not even worth it. But I will have to say that I enjoyed most of the stuff. Like, I mean, there was plenty of times where it was like, man, what the heck, this isn't working. Doing the 300 workout, and
Hmm.
all these things for Men's Health, and uh, but now I'm at a place where I'm not as lean as that, but guess what? I'm really freaking fit. I feel that my health is fantastic,
Hmm.
and I feel like the fact that I was able to just keep working on those things, now it's like, all right, yeah, there's times where I will be like, you know what, I'm going a little bit too far the other way, right? Like I'm gaining a little bit of weight or whatever, and it's like I
Hmm.
don't feel comfortable there. But now I have those things that I can like I can dial back in, and I
Yeah.
don't have to be thinking about it all the time with the um like with the discipline, I guess, that I did, but I can get back into it because I took a million steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what, like decades of yeah, taking steps, trying
Yeah.
things, working toward things. Whereas if it was I want a six pack by yeah by summer and I'm done, well, it's impossible, and then you just
Yeah.
stop. But
Yep.
if the goal is to continue working on your health for your whole life, then whatever changes come up. I mean, just like look around CrossFit, you can see people start out with CrossFit and then try strongman and then try rowing and endurance and weightlifting. Those goals change all the time, right? But the main goal that is, or maybe the main love, is fitness and
Right.
health. And so even though the methods change, like really the focus is the same. And so you keep doing it.
Hmm.
So that I think that really is, as far as delayed gratification goes, it's really finding that goal of like that long term, lifelong goal, and the how the how is what changes.
Right.
How am I going to do that? Depends on what year it is and how old I am and what I enjoy doing right now. But you got to find those things you enjoy.
Absolutely. Well, there we go. Delayed gratification. That's our tips for success.
Hmm. Go listen to recordings of Jocko, remixed by Akira the Don.
That is hilarious. I am gonna go take a look. That sounds
They're
hilarious.
awesome.
Well, cool. All right, you guys, we will see you again next week for Do That But Better every Tuesday at noon. Nikki's Diner Nooner.
All
I
right,
will see you
see you
later.
later.